So, fans are going to be picking the wild cards for the SA20 today. We're going to be discussing different players that maybe missed out on the tournament that could be picked up. And I'll go through a little bit of the logistics, etc. It is a call-in show for you guys, so that you guys can call in and say who you'd like to see make a chance or get an opportunity in this particular league. It's very important that you guys call in, and that's what this show is all about. But before we get going, before we get started with this particular show, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Please don't forget to click that notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, and share. Download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. It's 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. And also help us grow and promote South African cricket by becoming a Patron today. Also, go to cricketfanaticsmag.com. This is where we will be showing you all the updates on everything that we will be reading from the show today. So please stay tuned for that as well. Let's get straight into today's video. Looking forward to discussing this one with you guys. Very important for you guys. Don't forget to call in on the show if you want to have your say, please. We will try to get to the live chat as best as possible, but it's obviously going to be dependable on time. So let's get into this. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. Now, the first thing that we're going to be speaking about is this news that broke a little bit earlier on, that SA20 is going to be introducing wildcard signings. So the press release read that teams may sign a South African or an overseas player and have until the 30th of December to make their selections. Teams can sign a South African or overseas player. Player have to have the base price of 175,000 Rand with a salary cap at discretion of the team. In an exciting introduction to the six SA20 franchise teams will have the opportunity to sign a wild card to put into their squads in the inaugural season starting on the 10th of January. Teams may sign a South African overseas player, like I just explained. Players will have to come from the minimum base price, which I just explained. And with franchises using directions to select the caliber of players to bolster their squads, which will move from a playing personnel of 17 to 18 players. Players who are not registered for the auction are eligible for selection. The wildcard offers our teams an opportunity to add another world-class player to their squad, says the commissioner, which is pretty obvious. Each squad will be allowed to have a maximum of 8 overseas players and a maximum of 4 on-field overseas players at any time during the match remains unchanged. The franchise's salary cap following the auction will remain outside of the wildcard players' fee. The cricket community showed a lot of interest in our league for the auction. I have no doubt we'll be seeing a brilliant cricketers join SA20. Well, it's just very, very, very boring that. I'm going to show you the squads and so that you guys know what is going on with regards to the squads and who has been selected already. At any point, we can bring it up. So for the callers, if you want to see who's in what squads, etc., we will pull it up on screen for you guys to look at while we are busy. So don't be too hasty to try and memorize everything. But let's look at the full squads below so far. So the Paul Royals, David Miller, Josh Butler, Obert McCoy, Corbin Bosch, Lungin Giri, Debray Shamsi, Jason Roy, Dane Vias, Bjorn Fortuin, Mitchell van Vuren, Vian Libbe, Fariska Adams, Imran Manak, Evan Jones, Raymond Simons, Owen Morgan, and Cody Yusuf. Sunrisers Eastern Cape have Aidan Markram, Neil Bartman, Marco Jansen, Tristan Stubbs, Sasanda Magala, Junaid Dawood, Mason Crane, John Smuts, Jordan Cox, Adam Rusington, Rula van der Merwe, Marcus Ackerman, James Fuller, Bryden Cars, Cyril Ewe, Ayat Kamani, and Tom Abel. Then for Mumbai Indians, we've got Kagiso Rabada, Liam Livingston, Rashid Khan, Dewald Brevis, Sam Curran, Rassi van der Dussen, Ryan Rickleton, George Linder, Björn Hendricks, Dwan Jansen, Delano Potgieter, Odin Smith, Waka Salamankale, Ziad Abrahams, Wesley Marshall, Ollie Stone, and Grant Rulerson. Then at the Joburg Super Kings, we have Faf du Plessis, Gerald Coetzee, Romario Shepherd, Mahesh Tikshana, Harry Brook, Janaman Malan, Riza Hendricks Calverine, George Garton, Alzari Joseph, Louis de Ploy, Louis Gregory, Lazard Williams, Nandre Berger, Donovan Ferreira, Malusi Supporter, and Caleb Seleke. And then the Pretoria Capitals, Andrich Nokia, Michael Pretorius, Radio Soul, Phil Salt, Wayne Parnell, Josh Little, Sean Van Berg, Adil Rashid, Cameron Dalport, Will Jacks, Tunis de Brain, Marco Murray, Jimmy Neesham, Kushal Mendes, Darren De Pavlin, Shane Dadswell, and Ethan Posh. And then for the Durban Super Giants, we've got Quentin de Kock, Jason Holding, Reese Topley, Kyle Meyers, Brennan Zubrain, Dwayne Pretorius, Heinrich Klassen, Kimo Paul, Keshav Maharaj, Kyle Abbott, Junior Dala, Dilshan Mudashanka, Johnson Charles, Matthew Brietzky, Christian Jonker, Simon Harmer, and Vian Mulder. Now, we did do a whole show on this as well, so you guys can go check that out. But let's get the first caller in. We've got Nazir waiting for us in the back end. I would like to know also in the live chat who you guys would want to pick up as wildcards. Nazir, welcome to the show, brother. We obviously discussing the wildcard selections and who you'd want to pick up from an overseas or South African point of view. Um, First and foremost, are there any names that stand out to you that maybe you would want to jump at that haven't been selected in the league so far?
Well, from a South African cricket perspective, I think the main goal of this tournament is to generate money for SA cricket. And I think the way to do that, I don't think the likes of Temba Bavuma will get a lot of people hooked to their screens for T20 cricket. I would like to see some of the big international names, hopefully like the likes of Baba Azam, if they allow it, if the Pakistani players are allowed in, I would like to see some of that. But if not, I guess we have to go with Timba. He's our T20 captain. And yeah, I think Ngene performed really well in the T20 competition. So he's a good name to throw out there. And Adile as well, probably. But first and foremost, I would like to get some big international names to get all the fans around the world watching the SA20 competition.
Hmm. Now, I've been told that some of the Pakistani players won't be available due to the PSL, and I think, but that only starts according to this 9 February. So that's a little bit of a weird one because I think that the final will be around that time anyway. So they could possibly play before that. I don't know what the rules are on those things. We know that the BBL. Let me just double check when the BBL is being played.
I think it's at the same time.
2023. I think it's at the same time from what I've heard, but let's get the exact dates here. It says 13 December, and then it goes right through to obviously January. So it will obviously clash with, it will clash with the T20 league. But it kind of ends when the when the matches have started already. It runs right through January into February. So, yeah, there are going to be players that are not going to be able to be picked up that are going to be in those teams. Okay, so I'm going to just call one of my players that I really think should get an opportunity. I put him on my front cover of this particular thumbnail, and that's Snakely. The reason why I say so is this tournament should take the opportunity to give some players that have or reward players that have performed really well in the leagues in South Africa. And I think that's very important that we do so. Snakely was a player that topped the charts in the T20 CSA competition as a bowler. Those are the type of players that should get opportunities, I feel. I think someone like Pangiso, who didn't get picked up, is a very good opportunity to get him back into the mix as experience-wise. I think maybe you could look at maybe a Jordan Herman as maybe a rookie type of signing into a team there. He's been doing really well in all formats. But it will be interesting to see what they go with. I'm not sure about the 100% sure on the Pakistan League. I've heard that some of them have been allowed to play and some of them are not. So it's interesting one that we're going to have to see. I do believe that in this particular instance, it's a good chance for them to maybe bring Andile into the mix. Andile has been a T20 Proteas player for a very long time, white ball player, specialist, etc. And it could be an opportunity for him to maybe drop his base price and get picked up. Temba is it's another opportunity for them maybe to get Temba in. And I know that some people might not say that that's maybe a good idea, but it's a second chance for someone to pick up the captain of the national team. And that's if he's still going to be captain. But it's going to be interesting to see who else is in the mix and who's available to be signed. Um, when you're looking at picking a wild card, so like for example, if I show you the team of a year, um, let's just pick any team. Let's say the Mumbai Cape Town, for example. When you're looking at this team, it is quite heavy in the batting department. So when you're looking at the likes of um, Grant Rullison, Wesley. Actually, no, I'm lying. They're actually quite weak in the batting department. They have more bowlers over here than they have batters. So would you maybe go and think of maybe signing up a young batsman to add to that mix? Or which team are you going to be following and what would you do with that team is the actual question, Azir.
Oh, well, I live in Cape Town, so I'll be going to all the Mumbai Cape Town. What is it called? Mumbai Cape Town. It's a really stupid name, but
Mumbai
yeah,
Indians, Cape Town, yeah.
I'll be going to all of those games, and I think this team is probably the favorites. On paper, they have big stars, people who are really well known, but yeah, the if I look at that team, the bowlers are probably already already
Picked.
nailed on
Yeah,
there. And then
yeah.
got the openers there as well, probably Previs and Livingston. Yo, that's a good team. I don't know how. See, it's gonna be hard to improve that team, but that team would look like I think a team like that could do with the experience of Temba Bavuma to lead the team, or in
Interesting.
situations where they need that experience. And I don't know. I'm a bit disappointed that Temba wasn't picked. I think it was because of the high base price. So I'm pretty sure someone's gonna pick him up. I know the Indian owners are not gonna do anything on sympathy. They'll they don't care about how South African cricketers feel, in my opinion. And why
Mm.
should they? It's their team. They can do what they want. But I think Timber will be if the base price is 175,000. I think Timber is a good pick. He's not a world beater, but he's valuable. Uh, like he's done it before in domestic conditions. Maybe even someone like the Joburg Super Kings. He's played his cricket in the high felt. He's won tournaments for the Lions, captaining the Lions on the high felt. So I think Timba's definitely the one to look out for. I'm sure he's going to get bored. He has to. Like, if there's no international stars going to be bored because, as we've mentioned, they're in other tournaments or they can't make it. I think the first name that will be picked up is Timba.
Yeah, and I can't disagree with you there. I mean, it makes sense for someone to actually pick up someone like that and bring them into the team. I would maybe go with I would take a risk with a Jordan Herman as a Cape Town based team. I think it would be a good signing for them actually to this have an extra batter in the mix. When I look at some of the other teams, let's just start from the top here. Let's see what a team like the Paul Royals need. The Paul Royals batting lineup seems nailed on. I mean, they've got Josh Butler and Jason Roy, David Miller as well. The top, you could say top four, top five, top three. They've got Mitchell van Buren as well. Vian Lubbe can open the batting. I mean, they look at quite a well balanced team. I would make they have the spinners are covered. They've got Imran Manak. They've got Bjorn Fortuin. They've got as well, I think, the Bray Shamsi, yes. So they've got their spinners covered. Then it comes to the all-rounders department. I
Was
think
Adil
that's where
Rashid in the auction?
Adil Rashid was. I'm not 100% sure actually. That would be a good option. Did I see him here? And even Moeen Ali as well. But I'm wondering if they're going to be playing in the BBL. That's the big question.
Yeah.
That's the big question over there. It's what they're going to pick. I don't see their names over here, to be honest. No. So let's just start here with this with the Durban team and look over here. I think they would need another all rounder, in my opinion. Okay, the Verisca Adams and even Jones are here, but maybe they could pick up. I think Andile would be a nice balance in this team. Either Andile or Sibs Makanya. I think those two players could possibly be a good buy for this team at the Royals. We've got another caller in that's going to come help us out over here. Liacho, welcome to the show, bro. We're currently looking at
Hey,
how's it?
who are you looking at?
So we're currently looking at the Royals and trying to think what they need to actually improve their team from a wild card perspective. But before we get into that, can you maybe give me some of the names that you maybe think should be picked up in this particular league as wild cards?
Um, it's pretty tough to say because there's like quite a few good quality players that have been left out of the tournament, not only from like a domestic sort of thing, but also in terms of players overseas. Like, um, I'm not too sure if everyone was thinking about getting Herschel America, who was pretty good last year at the CSA20. Johan
Where
van
is he
Dijk
playing?
Good shout.
from Northern Cape, he's good. Um,
Another good shout.
And then the Ibn Bota. Ibn Bota is a big thing for me. Like I was thinking, he is probably the perfect fit for Chennai because Chennai's top three is all right-handers, which leaves them susceptible to leg spin and left arm spin. So if they've got someone there that can be a matchup player and he has the best power play strike rate of anyone in South Africa, he could be a nice, easy, cheap option because he doesn't have a contract with NW at this point in time. So he's gonna probably fly under the radar and actually be someone that's benefit for them for a little bit of money. What about Mark Watt from Scotland? I don't know if he's still available, but he's been proper in two World
I'm
Cups
actually
in a
not
row.
sure. It's a good shout. I like that you're giving us a nice open view of everything, like a different view on everything, Liacho. I'm just going to ask you guys to please mute your mics and then put it on when you guys do speak. Talking about the Royals again, we're going to go, yeah, like I've said, I think they need maybe another all-rounder in this team. There's also Diane Khalim, there's Jason Smith that's still available. Ruan de Swart, I think, is another option that I think I haven't mentioned quite yet. There are some Huddersfield Uni is another one maybe that played for the Royals last year. So looking at this team, that's where I'll go. I'm going to give you guys the start for this one. Sunrisers. When I look at the Sunrisers team, let's start with the batting lineup. Okay, so Aiden will be in the top three, probably. Top four, let's say. Tristan Stubbs is in this team as well. So that's your bottom of that batting lineup sorted. John Smuts will probably play 3, 4, or could possibly open. You also got Jordan Cox in this team. And Marcus Ackerman as well. There's some decent Sarel Earvis here, Ayakamani's here. So quite a few also. There's also quite a few bowlers here too that I'm looking at. But what I think is missing in this team is maybe perhaps other than Othniel Botman is perhaps that raw pace that we're talking about that every team possibly has, like that proper 150 or 145, 150 pace. Perhaps they could add the likes of a Matthew Boast who can maybe reach that levels, or perhaps even that guy from Bloemfontein currently, Nilan van Heerden, has been playing extremely well as well. I think he's been a very good player. What would you guys do? Who would you add to this team to balance it out a little bit more? Nazir, do you have any pointers?
It looks like this team might need a decent opener, and I think one name that I think was surprised me in the CSA T20 challenge was Javashan Pillay. I think
Oh,
he's a
yes.
classy batsman. I really actually
Yes.
like watching him bat. He played some good cover drives. He's exciting. I want to watch. I wouldn't mind him being bored. That would be nice to see.
That's an excellent shout. Liacho, what do you think? Sorry, I just muted you. I'll unmute
And
you quickly. Sorry, go ahead.
I would say the two best options here would be Adam Live and Stephen Ashkenazi from England.
Okay, interesting.
Their boundary percentage and strike rate is ridiculous.
We must actually check if they are available for selection. That would be interesting to see that. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, we've done the my Cape Town already. Or Mumbai Indians Cape Town. Let's look at the Super Kings. If you look at the batting lineup over here, okay, Faf stands out and jumps out. Yanaman jumps out. Riza jumps out. So Calvarainers, Lewis Deploy. I mean, the batting lineup seems pretty decent. Comes to bowlers, you got Caleb Seleke, Saboto. Then you got the all-rounder in Donovan Ferreira over there, I would say, because he can do basically everything, also as your keeper. Lander Berger, you got the raw pace, Lazard Williams. Quite a balanced side here too. Maybe they just need an extra person that can maybe hit the ball long and hard. Maybe someone like a Jacques Snyman could be an option over there. What would you guys do for this particular team? Where do you see there? Where do you think there's a little bit of a shortcoming? Okay, Leajo, you can start us off.
Oh, yeah, I already said that at the top they've got three right-handers in Hendricks, Milan, and Faf du Plessis, two of which score very slowly against left arm spin and leg spin. So it'd be better to get a top order left-hander, and that would be Bota or Live. I think that's their main hole. They've got pretty much everything else covered. Also, maybe they could have went for a matchup off spinner. In that case, they could have tried Ramesh Mendes from Sri Lanka, who bats a bit.
Yeah. And they could also possibly play Leos Deploy as an opener. I know the Rocks tried to do that, to get that left hand, right hand combination. That's also another option. Nazir, you looking at this team?
Yeah, you mentioned the off spinner they could have went for. They've got Tikshana there, but I think what's valuable, and as the tournament wears on, the pitch will dry out a bit, and teams might be looking at two spinners. And one of the biggest surprises for me was Aaron Pangiso not getting picked. So
Yeah.
this team could do with someone with the Aaron Pangiso, just bowls it wicket to wicket, hits the nail on the head every time, and gets wicket. So I think this team could do with Aaron Pangiso, to be honest.
Can I say something about Pangiso?
I like that shout. Yeah, you may go.
I like Pangiso as a player. I think he's probably one of the most underrated bowlers we've ever had in South Africa. But I think all the franchises are reticent to sign him because of his age and because of the fact that he doesn't add anything with the bat. So I'm not sure if that's going to change. I'm not sure if this past season is going to change their mind because he bowled well in the previous seasons anyway.
Yeah, but I have a
can
feeling
see that point of view as well.
Yeah, I just have a feeling that
Yeah, go ahead.
Aaron Pangiso, I wouldn't say is a well-known South African player, and from an outsider, the way I've seen the Indian owners pick teams, they like the star players who can get headlines. I don't think Aaron Pangiso is someone who naturally gets headlines. I think he just does his job really well. But I think he did bowl really well in the CSA T20 challenge. I don't like. I understand what you said about age, but I don't see why it should be a factor in a tournament like this. It's like a really. It's 4 overs. How long? How old? How long is the contract? Like 2 years, maybe.
But the thing is that it's not just
I think it
about
will
this
just be for this year.
tournament. It's also but it's also a breeding ground for potential people to sign on to other franchise contracts. They're not just signing players for the outlook of this season. They're looking at the long-term aspect about it. I mean, that's why they gave a 10-year contract, a 10-year TV contract for this whole deal. So that's just my point of view.
Yeah, that's an interesting point of view, both of you. I just think that, Aaron Pangiso, the amount of experience he can teach the other youngsters coming into the teams, etc., and also his knowledge about Johannesburg and the conditions as well. It also gives him an extra boost. But let's move on to Pretoria. I mean, obviously, where Aaron is playing currently. We've got Andrik Nokia, Michael Pretorius. Let's look at this particular lineup. The one thing that stands out immediately is the pace. They have pace in their bowling attack, which is brilliant. Wayne Parnell and variety. So you've got Andrik Nokia with his 155s, you've got Michael Pretorius with his 140s, and you've got Wayne Parnell with his left arm 130s, 140s. So the bowling attack, I think Sean van Berg here, Adil Rashid was picked up here by Pretoria, so we got that out of the way. And if you're looking at the bowlers, they seem to be quite covered, even with Ethan Bosch over here, Darren de Pavlin as well. So when it comes to fast bowlers, Kusal Mendes was picked up here as well. I like that variety that they bring into the attack. What I think maybe you could, I'm actually not so sure over here with this team. I think they just need a youngster that can maybe come in and soak up the experience. What do you guys think about Pretoria? Because they look quite solid. They have a finishers, they've got middle order batters, top order batters, they've got all rounders, they've got the lot. Nazir?
Yeah, I think this team looks pretty balanced, to be honest. From all the teams we've looked at, I don't see any glaring uh, anything that's glaringly missing here. Hmm, they have Riley.
I was almost, yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
No. You were talking. You were making your point.
No. I was just thinking, to be honest. Maybe you can
Okay.
give me a boost.
Okay. I think that they've got all their bases covered batting wise and pace bowling wise. But in terms of spin, I didn't see the need to get both Sean Van Berg and Adil Rashid because they both spin it the same way and they're around the same age. I would have rather have gotten Jake Lintott from England, or also maybe gotten Ramesh Mendes again as an off spinner who's hits the ball. Because you don't want like both guys spinning it the same way, because then they could just put in a partnership, or have a partnership that has two people facing the same way that are both good against that same spin, and they could still whack you out the park. Because they're playing in Pretoria, it's the most difficult place to bowl in all of South Africa in T20 cricket. You want to make sure that you've got your bases covered in all phases. So that's what I would have done. But it's a pretty concrete side. Like for me, they're actually the favorites to win it all.
Interesting points over there. I do get your points of view over there. But yeah, you're making total sense over there. I'm trying to look in this team if there's anybody that can maybe offer that other option with the ball, but there isn't. So that's maybe a good call out. Maybe they could pick up a young spinner. That could maybe, like, I mean, Siya Mahima is another person. I don't know if he's been picked up. That's another option over there, which gives him another different option, maybe with the ball, which I think would be a good option for maybe someone like Pretoria. Let's move on to the next team, and that is Durban Super Giants. Now, this was a big shock for me with the way they went about their selection, or their auction, or whatever it's called, because they went for two major wicketkeeper batters here in Quinton de Kock as well as Heinrich Klaassen. So paying big money for both, obviously. And that's a bit of a concern for me, because I think one of them might have to sit on the bench, but also you could play them as batter. You could play Heinrich Klaassen as a batter alone as well. They don't look like the most balanced side, in my opinion, when I look at them. There are a little bit of holes in this team. I think that also in the spin bowling department, perhaps you could say for wicket taking options, because I mean Keshav Maharaj is not necessarily a full on wicket taking option. So Brian is also similar to someone like Maharaj as well in their approaches, in their approach. So maybe they could take more of a, I don't know, perhaps of a wicket taking option in my opinion. But let's start with the Juliago this time to kickstart it, and then we go to Nazir.
Yeah, this team really surprised me throughout the auction. But you do make a good point about the fact that they picked finger spinners primarily, which is, I guess it makes sense because they're playing in Durban, and there it doesn't really matter which way you're spinning the ball. You're always in the game in that sense. It didn't make sense that they got Harmer and they got Subrian. Like, are they going to play both of them at the same time? If one of them is going to bench, then you've kind of spent too much money on the one, not the other. Also, they don't have, from what I see, they don't have elite pace, like high-end pace. So that would have probably been where a Van Dijk or a America or someone like that plays domestically could have fit in. What else is there? Yeah, they don't have a wrist spinner in place. They could get a wrist spinner. I'd say those are their main issues. The rest are something that like needs focus over a long period of time.
Yeah, because I mean, definitely having Jason Holt in this team solves a lot of holes over here. Nazira, they got one of the best possible all rounders in the game.
Yeah, no doubt. I rate Jason Holder a lot. But I think someone if Pakistan players are available, I think who they can look at is Shadab Khan. He would probably complete this team as
Sure.
a wrist spinner, batter. Oh, I love him. He's such a good player. They have the pace with Reece Topley. Yeah, I think another name we haven't mentioned and who I think is definitely going to be bought that I just thought of in my head now was what's his name? Uh Sikandar Raza. I think he's definitely going to get picked up after the World
That's
Cup.
an
He
Isn't
cashed.
he playing? Isn't he playing International League T20? Because he wasn't in the auction. I don't think he was available in the auction.
Was
yeah.
he not?
There is
I
a
don't
lot
think he
of
was.
yeah. There's a lot of uncertain things when it comes to who's available and who's not available. I try to get a list of players that are available, and they haven't actually put it together yet for me to be able to see it. So I'm gonna wait on
Yeah.
that to obviously get some more insight in there because we don't know what's happening with the Pakistan players, and I was surprised that nobody asked that question when Graham Smith had his a little media conference, you could say, at the SA20 launch. I was literally busy with interviews when that was happening, so I had to miss it. I had to forfeit that, and I was waiting for that question to be asked, and nobody asked that, which is surprising to me. Not having any questions about the finalists, obviously, of the T20 in finalists in the T20 World Cup. So it was a shock for me. But yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so let me just get into some of the live chat comments, guys. If you guys don't want to stay on, you can. If you don't, this is kind of the end of the show in a way because I'm just going to go through the comments. So you can stay or leave according to whatever you want to do. And I'll see you guys next time on another show. Um, so I'll just go through some of the comment section over here and as well, and just get some of the people to read out some of the comments. Thanks, Liacho, as well. Please come on the phone in again on another show, bro. Gave some excellent insight over there, and he was prepared for this one. Let's get into the live chat. We've got Herman, definitely, in my opinion. Ronaldo Meyer is a good one. Rashid is in Pretoria. Yes, he is. I didn't have a look at I missed that part when I was reading it out. Adil Rashid is Pretoria Capitals. Subs Makanya, someone throwing in here. Gian Kluti was also would be very valuable. Smith confirmed that Pakistan players will be allowed to and available to play in the league a few weeks back. Yes, but there's been a change in things recently, I think, from what I've heard. Dayan Khalim has been thrown into the mix here. Jason Smith says Keenan Mitchell. Bayer Swanepoel if he's already in the squad. That would be a mega deal. I think that would be also be a very good signing. All these local players you're mentioning will not be picked. They made wild cards for Pakistani players. They just added local players for fun. Farisco Adams, he's already been picked up. Tinabe is a good option. I want to see Baba Razam. I also do, but I don't know if they're going to be available. It depends on what's going to happen with the BPL as well, which is running simultaneously with with this league. Is there no news, guys, on the Pakistan Super League and if it's going to be moved forward? I don't know why I was told that some of the players won't be available, um, which is a strange one. So yeah, let me know if you guys do pick up any news on that. Pile is a good one. Yes, I also think Pile is a very good option. Played really well, and a youngster like that would be good in some of those teams that have some experience. Can also top order better. Yes, I mentioned that earlier on. Let me just go lower down because I'm kind of like saying the same thing. Mapungwana is another one. Yes, that will be a good signing. Raza's playing the Emirates League. Oh, is it the Emirates League that is talking is catching on crap here? Let me just check quickly. It's probably the Emirates League that's talking causing crap here for our league. 2023. Let me check. Yeah. 2020-2023 league. Yeah, it will probably be this 12th of, but no, 6th of January to the 12th of February. Interesting. I think this league is going to make some crap, guys, for us. So some of those players might be picked up in that particular league. We'll have to take what is left from the Pakistani leagues. Raz will play in the UAE league according to Cricket for players outside the regional auction list can be picked. Harry Hector, we've got the Pakistan Super League only starts on 9 February, which is before the SA20 ends. So they will be available for most of the tournament you've picked. Yes, and that's what I was trying to say earlier on when I've checked the dates. I said that the Pakistan Super League shouldn't be the issue. Then it is that it is that other league that we're talking about, the Emirates League, that is causing a bit of problems, or UAE League that's causing a little problems for some players. But leave your choices in the bottom in the comment section below. Let me know some of the players who you guys think should be picked up. And I'll be really interested to see, knowing that the Pakistan players are available according to Keenan over here. Then I would like to see. I would even like to see someone like Muhammad Ali. I would like to see. No, sorry, not Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Nawaz. Sorry, Asif Ali. I would like to see maybe someone like a. Yes, I would obviously like to see the Babas of the world and Rizwans of the world. And check which ones are available and which one are not available. People has like 10 to 15 Pakistan players. PSL is in February, and the BPL is also available. Emirates, Bangladesh League, and Big Bash are the competitors. So we need to look at those lists. I'm going to do some deep diving as well to check which players are going to be available there, and then we're going to have to eliminate them to see who they're available. I think I'll do another show where we'll highlight on the international players that are available. So Shatal Sain Baba, Shaheen, Rizwan playing at BPL. So they are out of the picture. So someone like a Shadab Khan is a good option. I think Muhammad Nawaz is a good option. I think Asif Ali is a good option for some teams that are looking for players that can do a little bit of both batting and bowling. So those are some of my picks. Even the young Hassan Ali as a possibility. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thanks to the callers that called in on the show as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly and do all of those type of things too. But subscribe to this channel, which is your main thing to do. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care and be safe and peace out.